Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the LaunchPad Associate Workshop Series presented by the Education Committee for the Southern California PGA. The LaunchPad Workshop Series is a resource for Level 1 associates that are connecting with other Level 1 associates going through the program on their journey towards PGA membership. We do have Bryana Nguyen presenting tonight on player development. Bryana is an assistant professional and an instructor at Coto de Casa Golf and Racket Club down in Deep Orange County. And Bryana, thank you very much. You've only been a PGA member, I think, just under a year or about a year.
No, I'm actually pretty new. I got elected in December.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep, but I've been in the SCPGA section for that long, maybe a year and a half. I just moved to California recently, so it's been great.
I knew you were elected to membership in 2022. I didn't realize it was at the very tail end.
At the very end,
2022.
exactly.
So Bryana and I met a while back at a Metro chapter event. We played at Anaheim Hills, and it was great getting to know her. And this is actually her second attempt to present on the LaunchPad. We had some technical difficulties earlier in the series, and Bryana was gracious enough and generous enough to come back on at the tail end of the series and present again tonight with player development. So it's all yours, Bryana. Feel free to take us through your presentation, and then we'll open it up to Q&A at the end of your webcast.
Perfect. Thank you so much, John. And I wanted to thank you and Tom for having me out presenting this. It's a great honor, and I hope some of you all get a lot out of this. So we're going over player development today. And what's awesome is that I just actually finished with the 2023 Player Development and Youth Summit at the Farms. Just got back from that and learned so many great things. Wish I could have put some of that in this presentation, but it's just a great experience. And if no one has gone to one of those before, I recommend it. And I learned so much from PGA professionals and associates as well. So it was a great time. So we'll get this presentation started. Perfect. So like John said, I'm Bryana. I'm a player development professional at Coto de Casa Golf and Racket Club. I've been there for just over a year and a half now, and I'm loving it. I'm originally from Columbia, Maryland, so I'm an East Coast girl, moved all the way west. I played collegiate golf at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, so go Tar Heels. After that, I played a little bit professionally and then found myself more curious about the golf industry, and so became an assistant golf professional at TPC Summerlin in Vegas. And I was there for 2 years and loved my experience there, learned a lot, and learned that I loved teaching. So I got into that, and now I am teaching all levels and all ages, but love teaching junior golf, and specifically competitive level golfers is a little niche I love teaching as well. So that's a little bit about myself, and I will move on. So like we said, player development. Today, our topics we will cover is what exactly is player development. It's a term we're using a lot now, and I want to dive deeper into that. Our learning outcomes from the reading, the PGA manuals, we'll talk about that. Our portfolio activities. So ultimately, what we want to get out of these LaunchPad series is how we can complete our portfolio and get everybody past level 1, 2, and 3, and hopefully become a PGA member. So we'll go over those activities. I have some examples from you all, or for you all, from Coto, and so hopefully that will spark some creativity for different player development programs. And then lastly, like John said, Q&A. I know we have some people watching here, so stop me at any time if you have any comments or questions, and let's get started. So what exactly is player development? what is this new term, kind of new term, but more used term now? And why is it different from teaching and coaching and lessons, right? So we as golf professionals are always trying to attract new players, and that's the whole goal of player development. So who would you target at your facility that's new to golf programming, or even have been at your facility for a long time and playing for a long time, but maybe not have developed in their golf journey for a little while? So part of player development is attracting those new people and new students. Along with that, we're going to have to teach those fundamental golf skills during player development. So stance, grip, all of that stuff we teach beginners is pretty key to early player development for new players. So going along with that is adult and junior golf instructional programs. So I put a little note here, programs versus lessons. What is the difference between a private lesson, one-on-one, and a player development program? We'll dive super deep into that later in the presentation, but off the top of my head right now, these programs are longer term, taking your golfer on a journey, right? And kind of retaining their attention and having them at your facility over and over again so you can develop that really key relationship and that's what player development is all about. So some of these instructional programs could be golf leagues, PGA Junior League, a great one, 9-hole golf leagues after work, social events. At Kodo, we have rookies and rosé. We do wedges and whiskey. We do tequila and traps. Blake Jurgis, our director of instruction, he is pretty keen on all of these things to get everybody involved at the golf facility, and we love that. And then finally, some family days. So that includes PGA Family Cup, right? Getting parent and child out here, not just the child, maybe. So I like to say introduction. Player development is introduction to the game, instruction, so teaching those fundamentals, and then retention of the player. Can we keep them for a long time loving the game of golf? I learned today at the Player Development Summit, another word that a speaker used was actually conversion. Can we convert people that maybe aren't golfers into those diehard golfers? And I think that's a key to player development. Can we convert them into a golfer, which is awesome. So that's a little bit of an overview. Player development is a little broad, but some key factors of what player development is. Perfect. All right, moving on. Oh, there's one of the. So why player development? When going to maybe someone high up at your club and sharing your creative player development program, they're going to be asking why. Why not just teach one-on-one? Why not just be on the lesson tee? So that is the question. Why? Why is focusing on player development so important? One thing that really drives any general management or head professional is increasing member spend at the facility. So if a player is trusting you with their development through golf, they're going to be spending a lot of time at your facility with yourself. And that means they're going to be increasing either golf spend, food and beverage spend, or buying equipment, right? So developing these programs is actually going to increase any member spend at your facility no matter what.
Now, Bryana, real quick,
Yep.
I know I've spoke with Blake quite a bit about this. Can you just Coda de Casa as a case study? Can you talk a little bit about when you bring up member spending at the facility? Can you talk briefly, high level view, on how much increased member spend there's been since putting together the player development programs your team has put together in the last 2 years? Like
Yeah.
upwards of almost $500,000 more in ancillary revenue just from the player development programs themselves.
Yeah. I don't know specific numbers. Blake definitely probably knows that, but I know at least for our Crush It junior golf program, we started when I was there in the beginning of last year, maybe with 50 kids, right? And now we're up to 100 kids a week in our program, in our golf academy. And with that, I know at least once, no, I had 3 parents come up to me last week asking for new kids clubs. So that's ordering a whole set of US kids clubs right after our Crush It program and just increasing that spend. Three kids for that week is awesome, right?
Absolutely.
So
Plus they got to eat while they're there.
they gotta
Plus there's
eat.
more afternoon rounds for the people that brought them there. Those kids didn't drive themselves to the club.
Exactly. And
So,
what we love is when the parents do drop the kids off, right? Our restaurant, our bar is right nearby. So they're going to be over there waiting for their juniors to be done with our hour-long group session. And it just has everybody incorporated at Kodo, right? Or at your facility. So
it's amazing. It's amazing.
really cool. Yeah, exactly. So increasing member spend. I had a kid the other day saw his friend with a cool Coda de Casa shirt. So we have junior merchandise now. And he's like, Dad, I want that shirt. So he goes into the golf shop and it just purchases a shirt right there. So things like that, especially in a group setting, can increase member spend like super easily, right? Awesome. Thanks for the question. So another why is seeing players see their golf journey or viewing their golf journey as a long-term journey, not just those one-off lessons, right? We have in our player development programs progression, okay, and quote unquote like graduating to the next step. And this has, again, getting players to come to the course more often and retaining lessons with you, but also just converting them into a golfer. What I have seen recently is seeing people connect with similar interests. So whether it's a group of moms that want to take lessons together, so we put them in a player development program together. They're connecting with similar interests, and it creates a community at your golf course, and it makes golf a lot more inviting for those new players. And then lastly, it's just what we all want is increasing revenue in your pockets, right? So as golf instructors or coaches, we like seeing a lesson one-on-one to get that relationship. But when we have people come in groups or as teams or as communities, that easily increases your revenue. And like we kind of spoke before, almost doubling it recently at Kodo up to 100 juniors, you can see that increase in your pockets like that, like super quick. So I have a little rundown on why player development. There's a lot more reasons, but these are the key things that I have kind of broken down for all of us.
So Bryana, in this, especially with young people where the instant gratification of the world today, especially with young people, it's quick. And when you have to sell the golf lessons as a long-term journey and helping the students manage their expectations, how do you present those nuggets of achievement along the way to keep them gratified along this long journey?
Yeah. I mean, it is a long journey. We're all on it still, right?
Certainly.
So the first thing, and I found this successful, is creating those SMART goals, right? So those specific ones, those meaningful ones, and ultimately those realistic goals. So we kind of sit down with our little groups and ask them specifically what they want to accomplish, and we can tell them how long that's going to take, right? Or approximate. In our junior golf programs, we have every week little games or challenges in our challenge books where they can actually mark specifically what they've got done that week with a little sticker. So something tangible like that, it's a little more than just a high five, like good job, you created or you finished that drill. Really keeps them motivated. And checking in on your players is another key thing that I also learned a lot today at the summit, is checking in on their progress. And that's how we build relationships, right? And that's how they start trusting you. So it's hard when you have a lot of people, but if you put in that little extra effort, they really appreciate it. Perfect. Awesome. So these learning outcomes we got actually from the PGA manual. So I'm not going to go too much in depth with these because they're already in our reading. Ultimately, it's understanding your facility and their goals and creating programs that fit your facility's goals and objectives. So that is. And during this player development chapter, you'll have to ultimately create a player development program for your facility and run it. So we'll go over that right now. So the PGA kind of laid out. Yep. Go ahead.
So in terms of the testing for this portion of player development, you talked a little bit about putting together your own mock program. Can you talk a little bit about how the grading for that was and what your personal experience was with the testing for this portion?
So what I can remember is with player development, it was a lot on kind of like definition, memorizing exactly, for example, definition of a target audience, or they gave examples and then we would have to identify a target audience, right? So it's something like that, but on portfolio wise, it's kind of going into specifics and creating it on your own and making sure they align. I remember a comment on grading my portfolios, making sure align. Hello. John, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you.
I don't know if it's my internet.
Bryana, do you want to call in? Maybe that would be better if you called in.
Yeah. Bree, if you could hear us, if you could go to your invite for the Zoom link, there's a series of phone numbers on there you could call in.
Is this better?
We can hear you for moments, but then you're frozen on the screen.
Yeah, I just had to connect to my phone's hotspot because our internet.
You're good now. If you just did something in the last 10 seconds, it's noticeably better now.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Not your fault. Let's roll. So yeah, you were just talking about actually you were concluding your answer on the testing portion.
Yep, I just remember in portfolio specifically is if you create a player development program to remember to align it with your business objectives at your facility. And you kind of, in the portfolio, state that goal and objective in the beginning. So kind of having to remember that while creating your program was important.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bryana, that my recollection is the same, that, you really did have to tie it back to if you were going to increase rounds by this amount, or you were going to increase spend by this amount, show that in your portfolio.
Exactly. So speaking about portfolio, it is broken down by the PGA in your manuals by 4 little steps here. So when you are designing and implementing your program, you have to identify and design a program to meet facilities' business objectives, like we were talking about. You'll have to promote the program to a specific target audience, and we'll dive a little deeper and I'll show examples of specific target audiences and maybe the barriers they think they might have when joining a program. Then you will implement the program. And then lastly, you'll evaluate the program and project financial returns to the facility. So what you have made and what your facility kind of benefits from a program that you created. They also included an analysis of the program, so kind of reflecting on what you created, and lastly, a value proposition of that program as well. And even though this is a portfolio exercise, I just want to emphasize this can be done in real life, and this can be a benefit to your facility and yourself as an instructor or coach. So not taking this too lightly, but putting some time and effort into creating a program can help you and your facility. So we'll talk a little bit about target audience and how they align with your facility's goals. So let's see here. John or Tom or Lance, do you have a target audience that we could kind of use as an example here of a new group of players that might want to come to join golf and learn more about golf?
Lance, what do you think?
Yeah, how about veterans?
Yeah, it's perfect. I just got done with PGA Hope certification as well. That's a great example. So we'll use veterans. So perceived barrier. So if our target audience is veterans, what are we thinking are perceived barriers for participating in a golf program as a vet? One could be money, right? Golf is expensive, equipment's expensive. That might be a barrier they might create in their minds, right? A second one could be time. Golf takes a lot of time. So when creating a program, you have to keep all of this in mind for your target audience. With veterans, it's a lot with physical limitations as well. Like, can I golf with a prosthetic, or can I golf maybe not being able to see in one eye or something like that? So all
I
of
think
these,
also a big thing with veterans, and it's true for any new person who wants to become a part of this game, there's the fear of the unknown and the fear of not belonging. It's like so many, especially with player development programs in terms of new female golfers. They don't know to take the plastic off a brand new set of clubs that their husband bought them. When they sign them up for a ladies golf class, they don't know to meet in the golf shop. They don't, they're scared to death when they come on the property. They're scared to death of other ladies that are going to be in the program. They're scared of the instructors. They're scared of the facility. They're scared of being on property without their husbands. There is that fear of the unknown and that fear of not belonging and being in the right place.
No, exactly. And what better way to combat that fear than putting them in a group with people that have similar fears or similar concerns about joining golf. So that's why creating a player development program makes golf a little bit more inclusive, right? And hopefully gets players to create that little community of someone that might be starting golf at the same time. So a big barrier, especially with new golfers, vets, women, juniors, is that nervousness going to the golf course. So with all of that in mind, you will have to kind of create your instructional timeline based on those things. And whether your first lesson or first session is a group session, but maybe introducing them to the golf shop, introducing them to staff, showing them how to put a golf bag on a cart, something as simple as that, us as golfers overlook quite often, but new golfers might need, right? So after creating your instructional timeline, maybe it's a 4-week plan, maybe it's a 5-week plan, something, you have to keep in mind your target audience throughout the whole process. And then we will be creating marketing materials. So if it is a vet, again, going back to that, and they might not be at your club, you will have to find marketing materials, flyers, ads, Facebook, social media, anything that can get to these little pockets of new golfers, right? And get them to your facility. Okay, and then you'll run the program, which hopefully a lot of us can become more comfortable with being in that group setting and being comfortable with laying down foundation for new golfers, right? So we're running the program. This I added was you check that progress of each player. So adding your little personal text message, an email or something after each session. So golfers and new golfers feel you really building that relationship. And that relationship is actually what brings them gets them to come back every time. So not overlooking checking in on your players. Lastly, we will evaluate the program's financials and revenue towards the club. And that is kind of the stepping stones or building blocks for creating a player development program. So I'll have some examples here of what I am running at Kodo with some other instructors, and hopefully this helps with a lot of brainstorming for portfolios. So this is one of the marketing materials I have for this program called Get Your Game On, Gals. It's an instructional program for ladies. Specifically, I made it specific for our WGA ladies. So ladies that actually are already involved in golf, playing every week, but I never see them coming out for instruction or even putting in a little bit of time for practice. So we're targeting that specific group. Perfect. Let me just bring this up. So you'll see here, my instructional timeline, we have dates here for what we're working on. So we can have ladies drop in if they have something specific they want to work on. We also have this monthly subscription process. So like I was mentioning earlier, that retention of the golfer, we're trying to get them to stay in our program for as long as we can, so we can build those relationships and build their games. So you have that 1 month option at $250, but some ladies have opted in on that 5 month option. So we're going to be seeing them for 5 months, for once a week, 4 weeks during the month, and really building that relationship and seeing their game progress. So 5 months sounds like a long time, but really we can check in on our player every week and see their progress and see if they can graduate to that quote unquote next level, right? Where they want to be, whatever goal they set themselves to. We as instructors should check in on them and see how they're moving along. So this program I actually just ran last month with an instructor, Holland. Me and her had 7 ladies in this program, so it was awesome turnout. And we actually are about to have, I think, 11 this next month, so it's growing as well.
Bryana,
Great.
do you feel, Bryana, do you feel that your point about graduation to the next level, do you feel that's a big point in player development programs, having a stepping stone up so that people feel accomplishment and getting to a next level?
Yeah, I think it's definitely crucial, or just helps with their motivating factor, because if they aren't seeing some short-term goals, then they're not going to buy into this long-term journey that we're trying to set them on, right? So these little graduations, or we actually are implementing challenge days where we set up drills for the ladies, and if they can hit a certain number, then they can move on to the next level. And if not, we see what they need to work on, and again, they're coming back and joining these clinics more and more. So seeing these short-term goals really helps a player in a player development program and helps them not get lost in their long journey, right? Does that make sense, Tom?
Absolutely. Thanks.
So that's what I actually love about this next program. We have our junior golf program. We call it Crush It. And Crush It is actually consistent throughout all invited club properties. So if a junior actually is involved in ours at Kodo and moves clubs, he can continue in his progression in Crush It, which is pretty cool. So if we go through this, oops, sorry, go back one. Our target audience, again, are those juniors. We have 100 juniors a week at Kodo. We have 4 to 6-year-olds, 8 to 11-year-olds, and then 12 to 16-year-olds. So there is a little bit of a progression there. So our target audience are juniors. A big thing I've seen with barriers of junior golfers is it's not fun, right? Golf is maybe on the boring side compared to football, soccer, or basketball. So really focusing on the fun and the gaming aspects of golf is key to a junior golf development program. So at Kodo, we have 3 stations usually every time. We have a fitness station, and that includes maybe an obstacle course, musical cones, honestly, like noodle tag or something fun to get them warmed up. And then we have a practice station. And then we have a drills or game station. So keeping juniors engaged and hopefully not bored throughout the hour is pretty important for a program for them. So hopefully making golf more fun. I have a little video here, and it kind of breaks down what Crush It is. And this is actually a portfolio activity I had to do in level 3. So I'm going to play that real fast. And hopefully it works. If not, it's okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Bryana Nguyen, and I'm a player development professional here at Kodo.
This is my,
de Casa. I wanted to share with you.
let me restart it.
Hey everyone, I'm Bryana Nguyen, and I'm a player development professional here at Kodo de Casa. I wanted to share with you all one of the many junior instructional golf programs we have here. It's called Crush It. So every month, a junior can join us, and you will get 4 weekly group sessions. And then you also get 1 30-minute private session and an hour and a half encore session with one of our player development professionals here. So this program is all inclusive. It includes short game practice, putting practice, full swing, and a bonus is the life skills that we teach them throughout this whole month. Every month, they will come out with us, and each of the coaches will go over golf fundamentals, golf course management, and again, life skills and life skill practices that each junior will have to perform throughout their life. Another awesome addition to this program is all of the swag they will get. So each junior will get one awesome Crush It swag bag, one amazing Crush It hat that they can wear to every class, and then our Pride Crush It challenge book. So these books are made for juniors to track how they do with these Crush It stickers. And it includes all of the drills and challenges we will be teaching them throughout the month. So if you have any questions or any comments, please email me at Bryana, Bryana, .Nguyen, Nguyen, at invitedclubs.com, or go on our Invited Clubs website at Coto de Casa, and you will see all of the Crush It program information there for your liking. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day.
It's always weird hearing your voice on video. So that was one of the marketing materials for our junior program. And I think a lot of times it's easier to verbally communicate what your program entails rather than sending an email. So that explains what the program is a little bit easier for parents and juniors. So what I love about Crush It is those challenge books and the stickers, kind of showing the juniors exactly when they move to the next level, and them putting their stickers on themselves is just instant gratification. So that's a great little nugget we have, and how juniors really appreciate and stay in that program for a little bit longer. And that is Crush It. So basically, I just want everybody to grow the game, invite new golfers, and hopefully create a creative player development program in order to do so. Like we have Junior League and Girls Golf Camp and Summer Camp, making it fun, and just grow the game so we have golfers for life. And that is all. Oh, and I also put my cell phone there in case anybody needs any help on portfolio work. I am part of that PGA Associate Mentor Committee. So any questions or emails, feel free to reach out.
Thank you very much for doing that, Bryana, putting your contact information on there. Just kind of as a summary, we will be sending out the YouTube recording of this evening's webcast. And as we said in the earlier portion of the webcast, on the SCPGA website under the education dropdown on LaunchPad archives, you will be able to visit Bryana's presentation and see her PowerPoint and find her contact information as well to reach out to her with any questions that you have. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching the LaunchPad, and this does conclude our spring lineup of going through the 8 books of the Level 1 PGM program. And thank you for your support. And again, feel free to contact any one of us on the Education Committee. We are here to support you in any way that we can and connect you with other associates that are going through the same journey towards their PGA membership. Thank you, Bryana. Does anybody have any questions? Lance Hong, you've been a great supporter of the LaunchPad these last 8 weeks. Do you have a question for Bryana or for the committee? Okay, excellent. Well, Bryana, thank you very much. Thanks for being on tonight. Steve Monday, thank you very much for all your marketing efforts and your organization. We would be lost without you. And also, can't talk about the LaunchPad Associate Workshops without talking about Tom Parker. He is a member of the Education Committee, and he spearheads the recruitment of the talent in getting people to come on and present and talk about their adventures and key learning points of going through the various levels of the PGM program pertaining to Level 1. Thank you very much, Colonel, for all your work, and Tom Sun also for facilitating some of the webcasts as well. Thank you, everybody. Steve, anything?
Thank you.
No, thanks, John. Thanks, Brianna. Great stuff tonight.
Sorry
All right,
about
have a
that.
great night, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good night.